all heroes that they've been playing throughout Part 2, even yesterday in 2.0. Looking very good doing so. Only losing a couple of picks here and there and always gaining from it. Yeah, and we saw Naventic bust out the old school Tassadar for the first time ever, even with the, I guess it wasn't the first ever, but either way, the Tassadar-Vala duo that we were so very afraid of before. And there was about 0 moments in that game where it looked very good. That being said, there were always 3 levels behind after the first couple of picks that happened on Zuna and the early skirmishes that they ended up losing. So maybe not a fair representation, but for now, Tassadar is looking like he doesn't have a place. Well, we saw the drafting was heavily focused on making sure that teammate didn't have Abathur. We'll see what kind of adjustments come in for Naventic after we get back from this break. We'll have game 2.
Hi, new friend. I am Brightwing. Do you know about fairy dragons? Well, we like happy things, like nature and making new friends. Ooh, and snack time. When playing with friends, the fun never ends. Hey, come back.
I was told this suit would be my prison. Suits me just fine. Been called a lot of things. A renegade, an outlaw. Guilty as charged. Makes life exciting. You never know who or what will be on your side. So when the Nexus King called it, there was only one thing to say. Hell. It's about time.
Peace. It has been my life's work. Through honesty and diplomacy, there is no obstacle. There is no obstacle we can't overcome. Within each of our hearts lies a yearning for peace. Even in this odd place, I truly believe that each of us can find a way to live in harmony. As I was saying, I am Jaina Proudmoore. We don't need to fight, but if you insist, so be it.
A terrible fate has befallen this world. Evil runs rampant, uncontested. I can stand by no longer. Die, Hellspawn! Crawl back to the pit from whence you came. I am the Archangel Tyrael, and I will defend this realm from all who would defile it. For I am justice itself.
Welcome back to the HGC in North America. Team Naventic down 1 game.
Was that a hip-hop twist? Welcome back to the HGC North America.
No, that is wishful thinking.
That's where you're supposed to run DMC, follow up with a rhyme. I'm putting you on the spot.
We are going to go to the map screen and...
Nailed it! Let's go. I don't have that kind of power anymore. They took it away.
Can you rhyme America quickly?
America? No, I can't.
Yeah, that was the...
This is where we get...
That was the difficult point.
50 billion HGC tweets at us, coming at and
Please
just letting everybody know what rhymes with America and how we couldn't come up with a rhyme scheme fast enough. My goodness.
If you want to let us know just how bad we are at rapping, please tweet using the hashtag HGC. Let us know, because truly, we could have done better there.
We probably could have, but either way, we're going to Infernal Shrines here. Game number 2, Naventic taking us there. Going with the Mapperino over the first pick, even though they did suffer in game 1.
It seems like Naventic has fully switched to map choice. Because they did that every time versus Gale Force and Tempo.
And both times did they pick Infernal Shrine second after? I know BOE was first, but was Shrine second?
Yes, they like Shrines. I think Shrines was banned by Tempo versus them.
That makes sense. So then it would be hard to gauge whether or not that's totally fair. Because
they did pick it versus Gale Force, though.
I do wonder if this is going to bite them in the butt, especially in the Crucible. Just hear me out, all right?
As if I had another choice.
That was a good comeback. All right, so anyways, so they're banking on reliable maps, the maps that they know they can get, right? They're sticking to their maps. They're focusing on the map. They're the only teams in North America right now that when they lose, they go, I would rather choose the map.
Consistently.
I think there should be some more mix-up in that across the board. I do think it's weird that we have this mentality, especially for teams that aren't winning with first pick all the time, that they're just like, nah, first pick's busted. But beyond that, the fact that Naventic is the only team to do that, it shows that they're very worried about these certain maps. But don't you think, like, only picking certain maps for, like, the last 3 weeks and everybody knows already you're going to Crucible, everybody's going to look at you and be like, all right, so we already know we only need to practice 3 maps. Like, you don't even have to question. You just go, Naventic wants 3 maps. They're our team that we're going to try and face in the Crucible. Okay, this is pretty easy.
I like that you write notes.
It's just... need my reading glasses. But you know what I mean? Doesn't that seem a little weird? The last thing I want to do is set an easy preparation tactic to any of those teams. They mind game them. They actually win every other map.
What if they have been practicing hard the other maps?
I thought about it. I really did. And I was like, what if they're just bamboozling us? You know, they're really giving you the old tricky strategy.
The flipperoo.
But if that was going to happen, they wouldn't be picking BOE for an entire HGC Part 1 and 2 first. That has been their go-to. So the fact that it carried over from Part 1 makes me be like, no, that's not.
Yes, they do, because then if there's map bans, I don't actually know how it's going to work.
But if there's map bans, it's probably near identical.
Then you ban the BOE, and they're like, yeah, that's cool.
That's true. You can get away with one. Either way, teammates sticking to the Anubarak hype train.
Yes.
The Greymane hype train's not going to be here. Uther above Malfurion is going to be chosen for Naventic.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast, Leoric picked. That is a funny thing to see.
Now you learned how to rap? Space Ghost Coast to Coast?
It's the name of a show.
Oh, I was giving you way too much credit.
You should. Don't give me credit for the name of a pop culture reference. The Chromie ban. They only played it once, played versus it once, and Team Naventic have had enough with Chromie from Team 8.
For Naventic, right now, they've managed to deny the Greymane, which is cool. But this is the first time we're going to see the duo of the Gul'dan's game with the Uther. And the fact that, honestly, that was kind of natural. I didn't even realize I said it. But the Uther with the long cooldowns, you know, how is that going to interact? Because my first thought is Gul'dan's kind of just not going to be able to do that much. He's got to be self-sustaining, essentially, right? Because you never want to really use those cooldowns.
Well, teammate Bandario, because they think that that's going to be a double support.
Okay, so then it would be a Lucio later on.
Naventic have played double support before a couple of times with Biggie playing Ariel.
Huh. With Gul'dan already picked up, do we see the Medivh come out? Yeah, there it is. It's going to be the Medivh. What else do they want for a backliner for Team 8? Got a bit of everything. They can go any direction, really.
Prismat has played Leo once. It's way more likely that Yoda plays Leo. Yeah, so Lunara grabbed for Prismaticism.
So they're role swapping, and Leoric is the exception.
No.
They aren't role swapping, but when Leoric's picked, they put Yoda, and then we're going to see Prismaticism flex outward.
Yes, he has not played Lunara yet. Actually, I think only Glaurung has played Lunara for Team 8.
What?
Oh, she's back!
Tomster, right? We're going to have Tomster on the Kerrigan, right? Not Zuna? Man, it's so hard to judge now. I have no... With Greymane gone, we know the only person I do know is that Beacon.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. It got scary for 2 seconds.
I know.
Did me a real big fright.
I was like, holy cow, the whole thing went down. We're going to die. But so Kerrigan's back. Who is it? I have to know. It's Zuna. They're going to put Zuna on it. Dude, I'm just going to flat out say it. Zuna in the past has gone out of his way. Every role swap, every iteration, everything about Zuna whatsoever, he has had the mentality, I want to be on the hero I can carry on. For a while, when the team was struggling, they made a roster swaps. They put him on the melees, and he was playing secondary warrior. That lasted 1 weekend, and he swapped back out. He immediately noped out. He wants to carry. No matter how much it feels like he puts his team ahead of him, when it comes down to it, he can't let it go. He will always be on the high-impact hero. If it was Zeratul, whoever's on that role, boop to the side. I'll go ahead and take that one. Is it Kerrigan in this game? You would, according to the last game, Zuna should be our Gul'dan or our Tychus. But nope. Who's the highest impact hero? It's in fact Kerrigan. Zuna's going to be the player. I'm telling you, it's coming back. I wanted to wait until we saw 5 different times of it happen, because this happened at HGC multiple times before. I was like, it's not changed, because I wanted to believe. But this game is the fact that they double role swapped twice in a series shows that they are. It's not. It's who can Zuna carry on is all the thought process right now.
Well, Team Naventic haven't played a lot of Kerrigan before, but the last time that they did, Tomster was the one playing her. They've only had 1 game, so maybe that is what it is. We'll see how the swap. Maybe it's just that the problem was that last game was too rough for Zuna to be able to shot call from a ranged perspective. We're ready to head into the game and see how the swap back does for Naventic if they could tie things up with Team A.
The only thing...
Oh, Naventic have played Kerrigan twice, and once was Zuna, once was Tomster.
Okay, so now I'm going to get a little weirder. Can you name every hero Zuna played last weekend?
Yes. But it's gonna take me a bit, so you
No, it's okay. I'm building my conspiracy theory. One question at a time here, Gilly. It's gonna be Q build on the Kerrigan. I know that sounds normal to say, but we've actually more recently, at least in Europe, seen way different builds coming out of that hero, even on Infernal Shrines. So it's going to be, at least for now, standard. Uther did mix things up with the level 1, though. Kenma opted into going with the Hammer of the Lightbringer. Basic attack, enemies of 75 times. Once that's completed, your basic attacks reduce the cooldown of your Hammer of Justice. It's going to be a lot of follow-up coming out from him here in this game off of those combos after Kerrigan.
Zeratul, Arthas, Valeera, Tyrael versus Naventic.
Okay.
Or versus Tempo Storm.
So you're right then. Your theory has an argument still. That could have been 1 game, and Zuna is now back to melees. Maybe I'm wrong. But if I see...
It is the only time we've seen a Tassadar from them in a very long time.
Yes.
So Tassadar may have been the
key.
Strange
You're right.
thing too.
I might have gone one game too early to make that call. I mean, to be fair, it's a thought process he's been very vocal about way back in the past.
DreamHack Austin, he switched to Kael'thas in Game 4 of the Grand Finals and said, I wanted to be on a hero I could carry on. Put me on a hero I can carry on.
And that was the entire strategy out of them. And since then, we've seen more signs of it, more and more. But like I said, technically you are correct. We'll see. But
Ooh, the best kind of correct.
If we see one, technically, but if we see one more swap, I'm taking the crown.
You're donezo.
I'm donezo. I don't know if donezo. I'm taking the crown back. You know, I'm gonna take the best kind of right and be technically right.
First shrine activating in 10 seconds. The team's close and experienced. Nobody been able to get a pick at the beginning of this. Kerrigan on Infernal Shrines is a monster for any team to deal with, but teammate do have Medivh as a way of being able to deny some of the shielding for her to get. This would be a great way to start this shrine phase off. If Naventic could get a pick, Yoda so close, Zuna will happily ravage in to take that kill.
That's actually really cool. That means that the Q you saw at Zuna was actually on a minion that got the kill, which made, Leoric seem that much safer, and in fact was not the case. I was going to say, Kerrigan can't provide a shrine threat, which I know this is weird to say, until she hits 4, but there technically is a small window to where she is very useless around the shrine itself. She needs that mana cost reduction, but they have got it online, so now it's all going to be about the combo, the follow-up, and how much we can see Naventic make happen here as they are winning the race on the Skeletal Defenders. Even using those beetles to jump to.
So, Jar, do you believe this Hammer of the Lightbringer is more about having the Hammer of Justice cooldown and control, maybe even getting well met later on? Or do you see it as making sure that Uther has the mana to be able to keep up with things? Because Wave of Blight also would be able to provide mana.
Yeah, that one is, I don't know. But like when I've played Uther so far, his best trade-off, his biggest trade-off is his mana. Mana is a problem-ish to that extent.
Yeah.
But I can see in this composition, looking at the Kerrigan composition, the Muradin, the follow-up to everything, I'm going to get a lot of auto attacks off if I'm an Uther in this game. And the map objective itself, you know, you got a lot of auto attacks around it. Wait a minute. Kenma getting chased down. Kerrigan goes for the combo onto Buds, but he gets a shield.
That combo, though, scared a teammate just enough to back off from Kenma so he could run away. So amazing job from Team Naventic to keep Kenma safe through that.
But again, it's more of like the follow-up in all the auto attacks you should be able to get. Man, Yoda gets the shield. No way he survives as Kenma goes in and is punished. Collapse there from the rest of the members of Team 8, and they end up getting a kill, setting it back to 1-1, at least when it comes to those pickoffs and takedowns.
I love casual Stormbolt. Like as you're running away, just chuck it out just in case. Yeah. B-Kid got one, but teammate finding a kill on Kenma. Not at the opportune time for an Uther to die, where he can provide heals for the team. Oh my.
Yeah, it's actually around the map itself. Now looking and thinking about it more, sorry, this level 1 question that you postured towards me has been bothering me a bit and trying to figure it out. But I do think a lot of it is going to be because it's Infernal Shrines, it actually works with attacking any type of enemy.
Yes.
So it should be the Skeletal Defender then gives it, which we've already seen. He's at 51 auto attacks, almost finishing it. So having the mana, but then the fact that you can set up a Stormbolt possible kill and then try and attempt at least to get your auto attacks, to get your hammer of justice back, set up the next one, right? And when you're on the shrine, it's one of the few moments where Uther legitimately can auto attack. Like Uther, most of the time, if he's auto attacking, he's trying to die. He's like, please kill me. But this is one of the few maps and scenarios where that talent actually has a lot more credit than I thought it would have at first glance. It's still not going to have the AoE increased duration of just absolutely ridiculous shielding that Zuna might need later on. But I mean, a proper D-shield could negate that as well.
Yeah, and it's cool to see it paired with Pursuit of Justice, because if he is up there trying to get the basic attacks to reduce the cooldown of Hammer of Justice, he will have movement speed to run away if he needs to after the hammer drops down. Next Shrine activating. This is a crucial time for Medivh. We've talked about Master's Touch before, but he's looking to get the 30 stacks with Arcane Rift without dying. So this is he looks like a tasty target to Team Naventic at the time before he gets those stacks completed.
He is. He is a nice one for them to focus down. We'll see if they can do so. Kenma caught out here a bit. The movement speed maybe not enough to pull away. He does end up healing himself. It seems like teammate maybe miscommunication there, or they didn't want the kill, but either way, everybody kind of took a step back and they're like, oh, he's not dead. 16 Skeletal Defenders for Naventic and counting with that Kerrigan reset leapfrog up there.
Well, now that Guardian of Ancient Kings is there, we have to remember that the heals on a stunned, rooted, or silenced target will give bonus.
Line. Can they get the body blocks? They need it. Twilight Dream, the root. No root to get the choke. There it goes. It lands, but no kills yet. Naventic gets away. How? And, oh man, they can get this. They're going to get the Punisher now.
Yeah, they're about to hit heroic abilities. Gul'dan's all the way in the bottom, though.
I think they still got it. Kerrigan's way too scary.
He's coming
with
up
D-Shield,
now.
They can just all in.
And Leyline's down, so is Twilight Dream. Those are very long cooldowns.
You just go. You just go right now.
They're waiting for Gul'dan. Flowerong sees this rotation. 17 to 24. Naventic's time to shine.
Teammates like, yeah, about that. We're not going to mess with that. That's scary, actually. Yep, good point. We're out. Yoda has been clearing up bottom the entire time, getting that side soak as you should early on Infernal Shrines. Punisher gate's going to be down. Kerrigan, can she get the follow-up? Nope, not the first one.
Still, that gate was low, the front wall. There's not too much that can be done about baiting over. He gets one bait. Zuna ravages in. Portal's there to make sure that anyone who gets caught can make it out, as long as they survive the chain stuns that Team Naventic have at their disposal.
They're moving up. Can they get more? Only going to be the Wisp. No follow-up after the leap of the Punisher. Portal's dropped. It's more of an escape route than an offense.
Entomb?
Never mind. They Entomb. Kemba's alone. He has D-Shield, and he's totally okay to die. That Entomb, yeah, you see them. They didn't even put damage, but that 3-man Horrify. Combo goes on to Glaurung. He's isolated, but he drops the shield. Leyline out.
Leyline
3-man frozen.
Odin's out of this, so is Beacon. Twilight Dream and a knockup. Uther cannot heal himself if he is silenced, and finally teammate take him out. As soon as they with Maelstrom, Yoda Wraith walking away, not getting into the portal in time. 1 for 1, maybe 2. Nice force of will, as always, from Glaurung to save his teammate. So it's a 1 for 2.
Kenma clutched that out. He was the reason that fight did not go terribly. He was able to get the Divine Shield instantly onto Zuno, knowing that he would be the ideal target. And then while he's dead, conveniently, Uther can heal a lot. He's actually very, very good when he's the dead hero. And, you know, that just set them so far ahead in that team fight. I'm trying to find this, how this game is going to go outward. Because we know Kerrigan is a early game hero, and early game didn't go too well for Naventic. So how far does this carry out? Uther makes Kerrigan better than she should be by a lot. That synergy between those two, she suddenly is a high impact hero. Even outside of just here's one combo here and there. Because again, she can auto attack with that Blade and Momentum at 7. Allow her to get multiple combos. But teammate should take off post 13. Once they get the double portal, it really does seem like that would be something that their composition can abuse well enough to make Kerrigan feel uncomfortable.
My only concern for Team 8 at this moment is that they have Lunara versus Uther. Again, this is in the past, very good matchup for Lunara to be into. Team 8 has been struggling to get kills, and a lot of times it's the focus of Team 8 to be able to get kills on Uther. And the time they got it ended up going more poorly for them. But otherwise, his Guardian of Ancient Kings, every time he gets rooted, he ends up just tanking so much damage. And now Lunara has gone into Thornwood Vine, does not have Leaping Strike. That puts more emphasis on the warriors up in front, trying to make sure they get those kills, or Glaurung to get aggressive with his Arcane Rifts.
I completely agree with you. I think the thought process when it comes to Lunara's Thornwood Vine is, again, we know the split more damage, Uther is going to have more problems. But again, that 25 armor he gives out to everybody, and we're yet to see a case where Lunara truly seems like a problem. She is a soft counter in the sense that the type of damage she deals is not the type of healing Uther is good at, but it doesn't change the fact that it doesn't seem like she is she just wins into those matchups. And so I agree with you, especially with the Thornwood Vine. Is that enough to actually get those picks? Because if it's not, Kerrigan, we saw what she can do when she even gets a D-Shield and Uther's just dead out the gates. It was a very close fight.
Yeah, and there are a lot of self-tanky heroes to go along with Naventic's composition. So Muradin has escapes and so much tankiness. Uther himself, we've talked about that. Kerrigan is protected by Uther, and then Tychus has some self-tankiness. So it's really just coming down to big impact, and if he can keep himself alive with Gul'dan, his positioning has been excellent. Big Impact is a fantastic player. So far, things are going well for Team Naventic. We did have a player disconnect, so we're going to take a commercial break while we wait for him to get back. Thanks for staying patient, and we'll be right back.
I was once a far strider. I swore an oath to defend Silvermoon and its people to my dying breath. It was not enough. My homeland still burned. But those days are long past. And history will not repeat itself. I am Sylvanas Windrunner, Queen of the Forsaken. And if you will not serve me in this life, then you will do so in the next.
Wake up to find that me and my friends are lost. Again! No one said it was your fault, Olaf. But if there's one thing we're good at, it's...
Getting lost?
No! No, Baylord, we're good at... Now what? Listen, I'm trying to say that if we stick together, there's no obstacle. Oh, no! Back up! Oh, no! Like I was saying, if we work as a team, the three of us, we can accomplish anything! Don't mess with the Vikings! That's right!
Oh, Eric, I gotta go remove that, please.
Now? Couldn't you have gone before we left?
Oh.
The most important thing I've learned in all my journeys is balance. Work and play. Good and bad. Right and wrong. Honor. Tradition. A good brew. And most especially, family. These are the things that bring me balance. These are the things I fight for.
Welcome back to HGC. We're still waiting for Justin to get back in the game and ready. So while we're waiting on that is game number 2 between Naventic and Team 8, with Team 8 up 1 game in the series so far. But past this, tomorrow is going to be the hype day of hype days, because there are so many good matches to look forward to. In Korea, L5 versus MVP Black. If L5 can win that series, they will claim the #1 spot in the Korean region, which qualifies them for the mid-season brawl. Meanwhile, we know MVP Black was able to beat L5 the last time they met up at the Eastern Clash twice.
Sorry, my screen broke for a second there. No, yeah, it's going to be awesome. And the fact we have awesome matches even, you know, in NA coming up soon too as well, and out of the top members in North America. So that's something to be looking forward to. I believe it's Gale Force Esports versus Tempo Storm. I sometimes forget that because I mix up team names a lot.
Yeah, those two. Oh, you're making a joke because you're... Yeah, okay, I see. We also have Fnatic versus Dignitas happening tomorrow. So amazing matches in every single region that I'll be playing. But we're ready to get back into the game. So let's get back in there. You see what I have to put up with?
Oh, man. You just gave me like a stern look like you do to a disappointed dog.
Yes, I was disappointed.
What I mean?
Not like a disappointed dog.
It kind of was. 4 seconds.
Welcome back to the game.
4 seconds, and we've got ourselves an altar. For if you guys, you missed the 9 minutes and 45 seconds of this game, let me know how it went down. Here's what happened. We've only seen 2 skirmishes. Kerrigan's been doing her thing the whole game, but it turns out you should respect New Uther with Kerrigan together. It's been a problem. Teammates not been able to confirm a lot of kills in this game, even though it seems like they should be winning these fights.
And now Kenma can walk up and say, well met to teammate, because that is his 13 talent pickup. Aggressive Portal looking for a way to catch somebody from Naventic out of position as the team start to duke it out over the shrines. But again, things look good for Zuna. Malfurion up front, and with Roots underneath. Bud's looking for it. Twilight Dream.
It's going to be Force Horrifies used. Beautiful Force of Will. Wears all the damage there for Justing. 18 to 13 on those skeletal defenders. Another Force of Will countering Zuna there as he plays Leapfrog out. He gets the hills. He kills out Buds. And suddenly, it looks like Naventic is going to be able to win this fight.
And it was before Buds could drop Twilight Dream, killing him, stopped it. Tomster's chasing down Yodo with a giant mech suit. And not only will Naventic win the fight, they'll claim another Punisher in this game.
Zuna carried that fight really hard. That was impressive. You know, that was almost Dark Mach level status here. You know, in terms of the Kerrigan play, survivability, that dude is absolutely amazing. But we see in it, you know, in escorting of Zuna down to get that.
He took a ride.
I had one of those the other day. That was insanely far away. I don't even remember. It was like Cassia. I don't know. Just flew miles across. Leoric's yet to join.
Varian's usually the hero that does that.
Yeah. Justing seems like he does it intentionally, you know, half the time.
There's another portal starting to harass B-Kid. Yoda's there too, causing chaos. Our Team 8 Twilight Dream lands this time as Kerrigan is taken to the ground.
No root follow-up yet. Tomster has got to slow. Portal's going to be used once more. Prismaticism putting out the damage here. Tychus is down. It's what else can we see them get here in these kills? They can't kill Ken because Ken saves Beacon. Now they both die. Oh my gosh, if they can... All right. So the D-Shield was used.
Well, Beacon. Benny Hill music playing in my head.
Oh, I was thinking the same thing. I was just like, oh man, I was like sitting there, I was like, well, this is gonna be one kill. And then I was thinking of like, what are all the cases where both people can die? And where's the cases where one people survive? But then the Divine Shield was used and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this anymore. Naventic needs the 16. They have, if they end up getting the 16, they've opened up more of the map. They've been winning fights. Like when it comes down to the actual fights that matter, which I know that sounds really stupid to say, but what I mean is the ones that are right next to the objective, which means they mean more because you win the objective, which means you get more structures out of it. That's been Naventic. Every other fight, teammates been winning.
And finally, they can take down some structures too. They got one fort. They took a second to half health. Going to get some mercenary pressure for the next shrine, which will be activating in 22 seconds. 16 versus 16 fight. Benediction now up for Uther. Double stuns, double heals.
They're going to have it all. This is actually a mix-up coming out from Zuna there at the 16 mark.
Yeah, they're
going for essence. Going more for the single target burst and survivability. I guess it's not even it's not a mix-up. It's one of the two options.
Yeah, well, there's double warrior for Team 8, so make sure that you can get more out of that.
Yeah.
Being able to build up those shielding too, especially once you know that you have Divine Shield on, you have plenty of time to build your shielding up. So when you come out of Divine Shield, you have such an incredible shield from your adaptation that you can ensure that you win the fight from there because you've been dealing damage so much.
All right, so we're going to see the shrine started. Zuna's just going to send the blue ticker up on those skeletal defenders so very quickly. They're backing out for now. We're getting rid of the shaman camp, afraid to get choked out by Team 8 as they back out and start the skeletal defenders themselves. And this is the fight. This is really the fight where one team gets a big lead over the other, as long as they're successful with it.
This is the closest that the skeletal defenders have been to between the teams. Whenever Naventic gets Zuna on the point, that starts to skyrocket. As you can see here, Team 8 have a limited amount of time to make a fight happen. They may be able to separate some of the members of Naventic away from each other, pushing a lot of them down and then going back up after Zuna in the top.
20-10, Naventic 10 defenders up. Justing and Prismat, zoning Zuna away for now. A lot of damage going in. Good interrupt there for B-Kid. The Entomb onto 2, the lane line seal to follow up. Do they have the burrow charge? No, they do not, but they're gonna drop the Locust Swarm. G-Shield's gonna let Thompson get right on out.
So the two out of Leyline Seal were B-Kid and Biggie, and there was no way to even get to Biggie. His positioning was superb. Only B-Kid could take damage. They tried to follow up after that too. Still, Twilight Dream wasn't used from the side of that. Now Zuna uses Maelstrom.
Medivh actually popping the Twilight Dream after that portal, hitting 4 members. Buds is just obliterating them. They all fall so low, nobody to die yet. Big impact, trying to channel some of that HP. Zuna's noped out. He's gonna get this Punisher. He doesn't care if it costs his team their lives.
Biggie?
You know.
One heal. There we go. Kenma keeps everyone alive.
Kenma needs to die.
Except Tychus gets taken out. Kenma's trying to step up, but he's running away now.
What just happened?
Butts the Legend is what happened.
He just came in. He was like, you know, I don't really want to play more of this Infernal Shrines game. I'm just going to Legendary Portal, 4-man Twilight. You know, I thought when we saw that Entomb into the ley line, like the reason I was like, oh, here comes a burrow charge, I was just like, they're burning all the resources. Something big has to follow this up, right? But in the end, the patience that Bud showed with the Twilight, it paid off. Still using the portals later on, not being as linear when it comes to the approach to the team fights.
Maybe his worry was if he stepped up, then he would get horrified and then be underneath the floor and be surrounded by Naventic after that. So being willing to wait and hold on to that until after Horrify had been used too.
Yeah, not wanting to risk the positioning. Either way, it carried teammate through another team fight. It's gotten them the 20 talents here they need. Now it's what can they do with this 84% Punisher. A keep should be minimum. It's whether or not they can get more picks, maybe a secondary keep elsewhere. I really want to see them force this. There's the portal. Justin goes in.
Leyline Seal is available to teammate again after they take out this keep, if needed to make sure that they can get out. But Naventic are so far away from 20. Teammate should feel very safe taking that down, and they do, and they'll back off. Kerrigan trying to split soak for the team, but Team Naventic are down a level and a half until 20.
The one fight, teammate won, they gained a lot out of it. The fact that they managed to get a keep after things have gone sour for so long for them in this game. Because again, Naventic was winning the fights. Though they were behind in experience, they've been winning the fights. Zuna, I feel like I've seen this before, man.
It's too late for you, my friend.
It's not your time. Gotta respect the heart there. He went for the Q heal on top of the bugs, trying to get the reset. Okay, so 48 seconds where Kerrigan's down. 20 advantage. What can teammate do? Are they going to paint the map red? They're going to start with this camp. Or are they going to camp it up, double camp mid pressure, and then rotate bottom? There's a lot of different routes they can go. I don't think anything stands out as better or worse. I just want to see teammate constantly apply pressure with their advantage here.
Yeah, hopefully knowing that the next shrine won't be in top, they pressure out some of the lanes, trying to take down maybe even some towers in front of keeps so that they can... They're going to come up and catch Kenma, so staggered deaths.
Yeah, there's no way out of this. He's just dead. Nobody's even coming to save him. Okay, so actually, let's talk about what just happened there, not for the catch out, but for teammate.
All of them rotating?
No, not even that. Because teammate right now, they're in a small window. The only advantage they're really going to get is the 20 fight, and they went for a pick instead. But what you actually do when you know your opponents are not trying to save that kill, you wait as long as you can up until 20. Uther's an exception because he can come back from the dead post 20. So that's why I say that. But just don't let him die yet. Because you should be waiting to stagger that death on top of an objective. Imagine if they hung out there for 10 more seconds and just didn't kill him. And they were like, Kenma, you can't run because we will make sure you die. But they waited out. Suddenly this objective, there's not 15 seconds difference. That is a free Punisher over to teammate or a 20-less man-down fight that Naventic would have had to take.
That's a great point.
Just stagger more and more deaths. It's very rare, and rarely do you actually see enough people to wait that out. But that was one of the few situations where teammate could just be like, bully the guy and wait it out.
Naventic are using the Odin to see if they can pressure Team A off the point until Uther can get back. But Big E has been caught from Team 8. Yoda cycling down. May have to use Horrify to get out of here. Entomb stops Big E from getting back to his base. Prismaticism and Justin are there to get the kill. Twilight Dream.
And that is going to be the first kill. Oh man, there's the D shield. Zuna is not being able to make anything happen yet. Justin with the Locust Worm. Lunara ripping through the health bars of Naventic, and with that Thornwood Vine, 3-man, they're slowing him down, but they're yet to get a kill. Ken will come back from the death. Good combo. Zuna goes in, but Uther just out of range. You could see Kenma and Zuna were planning to try and turn that fight, but out of range for the heals.
Portal switching over. A keep is already down, and so are 3 members of Team Naventic. Team 8 are looking to take a 2-0 victory in this best of 5. And with the core shielding already gone, half of its health gone, they'll do just that.
They will, in fact, do just that. Take a very comfortable lead here in this series, and it's all about what happens in Game 3. Do we see some more positive changes? Does the conspiracy theory hold up through Game number 3? Those are my questions. There's a bunch of questions, because teammates doing exactly what I would expect them to, really. It's Naventic is not playing as well as they did against Tempo Storm, but it's like, what do you expect from Naventic at this point? Really? I mean, genuine. I'm actually asking that in the least offensive way possible. Like, what do you expect for Naventic going in? Because you could have the Tempo Storm, the Zuna's back against the wall, the carry dream, the mechanical legends that they can be. And you've got the version where it's frustration, you know, panic. And that kind of seems like the version that showed up here today.
Yeah, there are two different versions that we see from Team Naventic, but Justin, when I talked to him, also did mention that he did feel like although Naventic is improving, he put it more on Tempo Storm that Naventic was able to get as close to a victory over them than otherwise. So that's maybe, again, why we see this more dominant for Team 8. Also, Team 8 had the luxury of getting to see that series and the things that Naventic did do well versus Tempo Storm before preparing and coming in here. Either way, now Naventic are down at 2 games in this series. We'll see if Team 8 closes it out right after this.
When I was young, I lived a life of recklessness. In my selfishness, I inflicted pain and hurt those I cared for. I have learned many lessons in my struggles with doubt and fear. Balance and harmony are not easily attained. They must be fought for! But on my journey, I have learned another lesson. You do not have to fight alone.
Let's do this!
Team 8 one game away from just obliterating Naventic in a 3-0 series and making sure that they can stay as high up in the standings as they can when it comes to the playoffs. Soon we'll know the next battleground. I know what it is. I did it again.
I did it too, so you can't even like throw out the question. It turns out I know the map. It's going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen is where we're going for game number 3. I don't know if we actually have that graphic up. We, in fact, do. Surprisingly enough, it is going to be presented to us by Naventic. That was sarcasm for those who didn't know, because Naventic's brought us to every single map so far, and they have very much been the North American team that is now all in on map pick. It's all about those maps.
They're switching their focus. They're the only NA team, that is only picking battlegrounds now whenever they lose. I don't know exactly what to make for this, but the most important thing for Naventic is they're doing whatever they believe is the best thing for them to prepare for the Crucible.
Honestly, that's one of those things where I personally don't know what's right and wrong. I think it's a case-by-case type deal, right? And I can't speak objectively because I don't work with those players directly, but I'm just glad that it's different. That really, for me, I know that sounds really weird, but for instance, all of last year, Competitive Heroes, North America was like, if it's not working, just keep doing it, right? And so even if it's crazy, I can always appreciate that more than just banging your head against the wall, hoping that it breaks before your head does.
Well, the draft will be starting up very soon. We know we're going to Tomb. We've seen some double support here occasionally, although that trend hasn't felt like it's hit NA as hard as maybe some other places.
Yeah, it's at least, it's kind of like at international events when we talk to the players and we go, what's going to happen? And always there's like 3 strategies thrown out. Strategy 1 almost always sees play. Strategy 2 sees almost no play. And strategy 3 from time to time. We're like, what happened to strategy number 2? And they're always just like, I don't know, nobody played it. You know, it's just, who knows? Everybody agrees that it's good, but nobody picks it.
Yeah, it's shown up a little bit in China. I don't think at all in Korea, but to me, that doesn't scream Korea at all.
Korea's
double support.
Actually, I have a conspiracy theory on why double support doesn't work very well in Korea.
You do you, and then I'll do me.
Koreans are way better at initiation, and that is a large region. They're not only efficient with their initiation and starting fights. For instance, they play Tyrael forever. They can initiate with Tyrael. That's really hard to do. They're very good at starting fights all at the same time, going very quick. That's why they're efficient in their fighting, and it's just like, oh, well, the whole team's dead. And that is a large reason why double support fails. Because, yes, they do have counter momentum measure number 1, but in NA and EU, we're less effective in our initiations, which then causes that sustain over the long run fight being effective. You do have 2 countermeasures with counter momentum support ult 1 and support ult 2, but that's as far as it goes. Past those, you'll easily get wiped, and that's why I feel like it's less common in those regions.
For me, and it may be honestly part of the same issue, is that Koreans are far too rigid with roles.